So it is time for another van vlog, and I got to set my timer here. Typically speaking, what happens is I get a random topic, lighthearted, nothing serious, and then I think about it for a couple of minutes, and I just talk. I don't edit out anything. You hear me make all the mistakes, and so on and so forth. Today, we do not have a topic. Today, because it's, this is mine and Noel's channel, I want to talk about a couple of things. And I mean, the real reason we don't have a topic is because we've been getting ready for Gwendolyn's birthday. She turns 1 on Sunday. We are having a little family get-together tomorrow. My dad's driving into town. And we're just going to get together and we're going to have a good time. And, we've just been busy getting the house ready and doing a bunch of stuff, and not that you care too much about that or anything, but I just just been super busy. But I was thinking, and today's isn't a topic, but it's going to be along the same vein of like anything could come out today, just like with any other topic that I have. If you ask me like what my favorite soda is, I could start talking about how it could end up well, I want to live by the ocean. I don't know how it gets there, but it can. And that's just the way my brain thinks. Just give you guys a little bit more about me is I go off on these tangents and these trails, and I don't know how I get to where I go to, but they just think about 15, 20 different scenarios and different avenues to go down. That's probably part of why I was attracted to practicing law. And because when you're practicing law and you're doing trials, you're practicing litigation, that comes up quite a bit, and it's quite useful. But what I want to get to today is, I was thinking about this ideal that I talk about on this channel, and that ideal is achieving greatness and achieving your goals and reaching for greatness. A couple of things I just kind of want to clarify is, I want to say this. When I say achieve greatness, or I try to reach this pinnacle, I'm not saying you need to compare yourself to the best person to ever have done it. Of course, I mean, you can use that as a model or an example, but understand that greatness needs to be measured from who you are today compared to who you were yesterday. What I mean is, you need to measure against yourself and see, are you making improvements? And no, you're not going to become the best you can be overnight. Nobody typically is. Now, I will say this much. Yes, there are people out there who, it's like, they're just great at stuff. Or maybe it's like there's something they're just awesome at, and they just wake up and it's like, no matter what, it's like they pick up a guitar, they're like, oh man, I don't know how to play the guitar. And it's like, wow. But for the most part, we're not all prodigies, and we really have to work hard at things. Just keep that in mind. And I was listening to Malcolm Gladwell the other day. I'm not telling you to go listen to him right now because I want you to listen to this. I need the views. But what I am saying is, he does have a lot of good information. He researches stuff. But I didn't know this, and this just blew me away. But before the Beatles came to America and the whole Beatlemania got kicked off and everything, they had practiced in a nightclub. Well, they played in a nightclub in Hamburg, Germany. And they played, I forget how long, like 7 days a week for years. Or maybe 6 months, I don't know. But the point I'm making is, what I found out is they had been together and played together over 1,200 times before Beatlemania kicked off. So, we look at them and we're like, oh, greatest band of all time, arguably. But what we don't see is the 1,200 times they played together. And the point that he made is, I don't think you could find a band today, especially, well, you could. I mean, obviously the Rolling Stones are still out there, and there's Aerosmith, I'm sure. But I'm just saying, I don't think you can find any up-and-coming band that becomes popular, that's popular new bands that have played together 1,200 times. So I'm just saying, you never know what somebody has been through in order to achieve what they've achieved. We only want to look at we want to say, oh, like the final result. And we think to ourselves, well, I can never be there. Well, you can never be there right now because you haven't done anything yet. I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying, but the point I'm making is if you're just starting off on something and you have a goal, there's always going to be people better than you, and there's going to be a certain amount of work and effort that you have to put into it. And by the time you put that work and effort into it to achieve where they are now, they've already put even more work and effort to it, and they're always going to be ahead of you, hypothetically speaking. You can catch up, you can work really hard, but there's nothing wrong with that. You know, I mean, I think about it, and obviously the Beatles aren't touring anymore, but it's like, I went to go see Aerosmith in concert, like, golly, like 15 years, 16, 17 years ago, and they were awesome. And I'm certain that I think they have a show in Vegas now, but I'm certain if they went to go play a concert, they would sell out every arena that they played, every place that they played. And they can still do that. And they're still going to have album sales. The point I'm making is that being great doesn't necessarily mean that you've achieved what should I call it, the example is to look up to. It just means that you are getting better over time, and and I think it's important to do this, is to realize where you're making your mistakes and where you can make your improvements. It's okay not to be the best. It's okay to need to grow. And I posted this on Twitter the other day. It's like, people who think they're the best never get any better. And I think that's just something to look at and something to realize. And I had a thought in my head, and these things happen and they go away. It's kind of like this, right? And it just maybe to give you some encouragement here. When I started college, I got a major in English with an emphasis of writing. And I've said this before, don't ask me about anything. I don't know what, it's years ago. Anyways, but the point I'm making is this. So one of the first classes I take is this essay class that we did. I don't even remember the name of the class. And the teacher made this, assistant professor. He makes this point. This is back in 2003. He says, you know, a bestseller doesn't sell to everybody in America. You gotta think about it. I mean, if you got 300 million people, I know there's more than that, and you sell to 1% of the population, your book, to 1% of the population, that's 3 million copies, okay? I don't know if that puts you on the bestseller list these days, but that's 3 million copies. And that means you've only got to get 1% of the people to like what you were writing, to like what you were trying to say. So I think it's like you don't have to make everybody love you and everything that you do all the time. You've only got to, for people to consider you great, you've only got to do about 1%. So, I don't know, maybe that puts things into perspective. So anyways, my watch is buzzing and telling me I gotta be quiet now and stop wasting your time. But I just want to say this much. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below. What are some of the goals that you have, and what can you do to achieve those goals? And just so, thank you again for watching. You guys are so awesome. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope everyone out there has the most amazing day.